Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. I'm Keith Silva, in for Judy Simpson. It's the first Thursday of the month and we're featuring harvest recipes on In the Kitchen with Across the Fence. There's nothing like a hot meal on a cold day, and today we have some tasty recipes for you. To show us their creations, we have Carolyn Peak of Williamstown, along with Deb Plumley and Marco Ayala of South Hero. Speaking of colder temps, Lynn's a little bit under the weather today. We hope he feels better soon. Before we get started with our chefs, we want to highlight the winner of last month's free drawing for the cookbook, How Do You Like Them Apples? The winner is Nancy Way, our loyal viewer from Milton. Congratulations, Nancy. You'll be receiving the cookbook by mail any day now. And happy cooking to all of you as we move towards the winter here in the Northeast. Speaking of loyal viewers, we want to mention Constance Berthume from Burlington, Lynn Biankowski from Danby, Diane Buska from Burlington, Charlie Farnsworth over in Witherby, New York, Marion Montcalm from St. Albans, and Richard and Margaret Brow of Wells, who have fond memories of their many years as 4-H dairy leaders there in Rutland County. Now, a lucky viewer will win this month's free drawing for the cookbook, 6-ingredient solution, How to Coax More Flavor from Fewer Ingredients. The book includes hundreds of recipes with detailed instructions and color photographs. I'll let you know how to enter at the end of the show. To get things started here, let's turn it over to Deb and her beautiful apron supporting the Day of the Dead. Deb, kick it off for us.
Fabulous. Well, I want to thank all of the loyal viewers also that I see at the Orchard. It's so wonderful to hear your comments. And so let's get started. Now that it's November, many of us are back in the kitchen after a busy summer and fall. And a hearty soup is a great way to start a meal. This is a chicken, sausage, lentil, vegetable soup. It's thick, it's rich, and it's so easy to throw together. You start by crumbling chicken sausage in your stock pot, and you're going to brown that with chopped onions, celery, and garlic. When everything is nicely browned, you're going to add some crushed tomatoes, some seasonings, a rich, hearty chicken broth. You're going to add a cup of washed lentils and a can of drained white beans. Wow, doesn't that sound flavorful? Let this simmer on your stove. You come in from working outside, maybe putting your garden to bed for the winter or raking those last leaves, and you've got a wonderful soup waiting. Pairs nicely with soup, but cornbread. And I wish Lynn were here today to perhaps sample this, because I know he's fond of cornbread. This is a sweet potato cornbread. And as you can see, this recipe makes a mountain. So if you're not serving a whole bunch of folks, I'm sure you could easily have this recipe. You have your usual cornbread ingredients of yellow cornmeal, flour, your baking powder, soda, and salt. But buttermilk is used for the liquid, so that gives you a nice shot of richness. You've also got mashed sweet potato in the ingredients, and you use honey as the sweetener. You can see this browns beautifully in the pan. So I hope maybe if you folks are cooking a soup, you might want to give this cornbread a try. Now, I hear from many of the viewers at the Orchard that come in for winter squash. What about delicata? This is one of my favorite winter squashes to cook with because you can make it either sweet or savory depending on your recipe. And this is definitely a sweet version. You're going to take your delicata squash and you're going to cut it in 1-inch slices and you're going to core out the center. And then you're going to do the same thing with a nice firm apple. I happen to use a Honeycrisp because I wanted it to hold up its shape. You simply layer your sliced and cored squash slices and your apple slices in a greased foil-lined pan. You're going to drizzle it with a little bit of maple syrup and sprinkle it with cinnamon. I also added some dried cranberries just for a little bit of extra color and flavor. You're simply going to cook this covered until the squash is tender and then serve it warm. If your family is like mine, sometimes you can entice them to enjoy the squash a little bit more with another drizzle of maple syrup. So this is a candied delicata squash with apple slices. Two of my favorites, because it wouldn't be harvest cooking if I didn't include apples. Now my last dish is a viewer recipe, and it's a very comforting recipe using a perennial favorite of the fall, pumpkin. This is a pumpkin bread pudding sent in from Sylvia Tremblay of Brattleboro. You take cinnamon raisin bread, cube it, and put it in your baking dish. And then you're going to cover it with pumpkin puree, vanilla, milk, sugar, some more spices. Then cover it with chopped nuts and bake it until it's set. As you can see, it's very rich looking. I would like to serve this warm, or you could serve it at room temperature. The best way to have it, though, is with a little bit of sweetened whipped cream and, again, some maple syrup. So I want to thank Sylvia for sending this wonderful recipe in. I think this might be included for my Thanksgiving dinner as a dessert. And Carolyn, I can't tell you how wonderful your dishes smell.
Oh.
It looks fabulous, so I can't wait to hear about them.
Yes. Well, you know, I earlier, not on this, but you were talking about having done cooking in 4-H, and that's where I started my career in cooking too.
I know,
So
I'm sure
yep.
many people did.
Yep.
Yes.
So, yes, these do smell very good, and they smell real good while they're cooking also. But I'm gonna start off with a couple of main course meals, and this first one is maple roasted chicken and acorn squash. Something about being a Vermonter, you just have to put maple into as many things as you possibly can. But this is a good meal, all in the pan. It's got acorn squash, and I used chicken breast and cut them into kind of bigger chunks. But you could do it any way that you wanted to, or any form of chicken that you want to. It also has carrots and onions in it, so you've got a really nice vegetables and meat all set. My next one is winter vegetable shepherd pie. Now this is really kind of, I don't know, strange, I guess, because the potato is a mixture of white potato, carrots, and just a minute, one more. Oh yeah, and the butternut squash. You cook those and then you mash them up. Now I left them just a little bit lumpy because I kind of like that extra texture, but you can do them absolutely smooth, however you want to do it. And it's got beef broth and onions and mushrooms and garlic, and you can just make a really nice meal with that. And either one, just pair them up with a nice fall bread and you're all set. And oh yeah, okay, I'll put this here. I was going to say, where am I going to set it? But I'll set it right there. My next one, this one was a lot of fun. These are broccoli chicken cups. You start out with the refrigerator biscuit, put it into the muffin pan. And then you add, in the bottom of it, you put some cheese and some Rice Krispies. Now, I could not figure out why they put the Rice Krispies in, but it is kind of nice and kind of different. Then you put in some cooked chicken and some cooked broccoli. Bake that for about 20 minutes. Take it out, sprinkle some more cheese on top of it, and these are really good. In fact, a friend of ours tried them the other day, and she told her mother to let me know that she wanted that recipe. So you might want to get these just to have that one. Oops. Now, down here in the front, and I'll bring it back up here where everything seems to be lined up for it good anyway. This is a tropical carrot cake, and it has got so much stuff in it that I don't see how there's room for cake, because it has raisins and yeah, I'm trying to find my place here. Raisins, it's got crushed pineapple, chopped walnuts, coconut, and then the shredded carrots. And I used the carrots that are the different colors, so it kind of gave it a little different look to it when you start working on it. Has a nice cream cheese frosting, like you always put on carrot cake. Really, really good. Lastly, I have my viewer recipe, and this is from one of our faithful viewers, Mary Burns, from over in Plattsburgh. And this is just, you start out with a graham cracker crust, and it's kind of your basic pumpkin pie recipe, and then you put nuts and things like that onto it and bake it up, and this is really good too. Thank you, Mary, for that.
I wish our viewers could smell your
yes.
recipes because they're so good. I am so hungry right now.
That's good.
I know. Great. Thank you, Carolyn. Well, it is that time of the year, so we're going to start with some cider pork chops. So we're going to make a little meal here, and check this pork chops out. They're your pork chops that you brown in a pan separately, and then you put them over a bed of Granny Smith apples with some sugar, some raisins, and then you bake them for about an hour. And this sauce is like really nice and sweet. However, if you like your pork chops a little more savory, I will cut down on the sugar. But it's, you know, a very easy way to please your family and your guests. So I really hope you give this a try. Now, it's getting colder outside, so we're craving, you know, those like really nice comfort foods. And the perfect side dish for a pork chops, it's going to be this cheesy scallop potato with carrots. Of course, it has your nice vegetables, your potatoes, your carrots, which, you know, you slice, and then the sauce. Oh my gosh, it's of course Vermont cheddar, because we have to have some cheese, and with butter, flour, and milk. And it's a wonderful side dish for your pork chops or for any meal. Now, our plate here is missing a little bread. So I got the solution for that. I got this beautiful honey glazed pumpkin banana bread. And look at that. Isn't that a beautiful looking bread? Check that out. The nice thing about this bread is that it complements your meal, but it's so good that you can also have it as, you know, a standalone thing. You can have it with your pumpkin latte now that is the pumpkin season out there. So this is like a whole meal that you can enjoy. It makes 2 loaves, so you can actually share it with a friend or a neighbor, which is what I did. My neighbors were very glad to get, you know, this bread delivered to their door. Okay, let's move on to dessert, even though this is a little bit like dessert. So my first dessert is a beautiful pear cheese Danish slab. And we have such great feedback last month with the apple slab pie that we decided to make a pear version of it. And this one it starts with a puff pastry. It has pears, cream cheese with cinnamon and nutmeg. And then you put on the second layer of puff pastry. And look at that. The best part is that it's completely portable. You don't even need a fork or a plate. You can just, you know, grab one and go, or grab another one and have it at home. Okay, so that is our first dessert. And my last recipe, it's this grape, purple grape pie. And I'm gonna take this slice out so you can see it. Look at that beautiful filling. It's made with Concord grapes, which can be a little time consuming because you have to remove all the seeds. However, if you can find Concord grapes at the grocery store, at your local grocery store, you can use red grapes and try to get seedless because it saves you a lot of time. However, if you find the Concord grapes, it's totally worth the effort because this pie is absolutely delicious.
It looks absolutely delicious. Well, thank you very much, Marco.
Yeah,
this is my slice.
Fresh for you.
I don't want to give all our secrets away, but those plates are hot, are they not?
Yes,
There's a
they
little
are.
behind the scenes going on. As always, there's a couple of different ways that you can get today's recipes. You can go online to the new Across the Fence website at uvm.edu/extension. Click on the link Across the Fence. There you'll find a recipe tab. On the right-hand side of the webpage, it includes our recipe archive. To get the recipes by mail, send $2 and a stamped self-addressed business-sized envelope to Harvest Recipes, Box 188, South Hero, Vermont 05486. Please remember to include $2 and a stamped self-addressed envelope to the address on your screen. Your envelope will be used in the free drawing for the winner of the 6-ingredient solution cookbook. Even if you aren't ordering today, you can use the address to be part of our free drawing. Just send along your name and address, and good luck to you all. Before we go, I want to let you know that next month we'll be back in the kitchen with Across the Fence on December 6th, featuring holiday recipes. It's that time of year, I guess, already.
It's the end of the year.
Well, thanks to all our chefs, and thanks to everyone here at WCAX, and thank you for watching. We'll see you again on Across the Fence.